Have you ever wondered how the United States became a global superpower? The genesis of this superpower status can be traced back to the early 17th century. European colonists, in search of new opportunities, landed on the shores of what is now known as the United States. The English, with their establishment of the Jamestown colony in 1607, followed by the Pilgrims' landing at Plymouth Rock in 1620, laid the groundwork for the colonies that would later form the United States. Over the next 2 centuries, these colonies grew in both population and economic significance, setting the stage for a revolution. The American Revolution, which spanned from 1775 to 1783, was a turning point in the nation's history. Courageous figures like George Washington and Benjamin Franklin led the charge for independence from British rule. This period of rebellion and resilience resulted in a victory for the fledgling nation, marking the birth of the United States of America. Following independence, the United States took another monumental step, the adoption of its Constitution in 1787. This document, a beacon of democracy, created a unique system of government with a separation of powers. It laid the foundation for a stable political system, one that could withstand the test of time and the pressures of a growing nation. Thus, from the ashes of revolution, a new nation was born, setting the stage for a journey towards becoming a superpower. This journey was far from over. It was just the beginning of an epic saga that would see the United States grow from a collection of colonies into a powerhouse on the global stage. With the dawn of the 19th century, the young republic embarked on a path of expansion and industrialization. The United States, driven by a pioneering spirit and the promise of manifest destiny, broadened its horizons with the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. This monumental deal with France doubled the size of the nation, opening vast new territories for exploration and settlement. This westward expansion brought about a surge of population growth, transforming untamed wilderness into flourishing communities. The discovery of gold in California in 1848 ignited the famous gold rush, attracting hundreds of thousands of prospectors and settlers, further cementing the westward movement. While the nation expanded, it also evolved technologically and economically. The mid-19th century was a period of rapid industrialization, with the growth of the railroad, steel, and manufacturing industries. Visionaries like Cornelius Vanderbilt and Andrew Carnegie emerged, building economic empires that not only increased their personal wealth, but also significantly boosted the American economy. The railroad industry, in particular, played a crucial role in knitting together the growing nation. It facilitated the movement of goods and people across vast distances, connecting the cities of the East with the burgeoning towns of the West. The steel industry, fueled by the insatiable demand of the railroads and the growing cities, also mushroomed, transforming the nation into an industrial powerhouse. Yet, this period of expansion and growth was not without its trials. The American Civil War from 1861 to 1865, a conflict rooted in economic and social differences between the North and the South, threatened to tear the nation apart. This bloody conflict tested the nation's unity and resolve, resulting in the preservation of the Union and the abolition of slavery. The Civil War, a test of national unity, marked a turning point, setting a clear path towards modernization. The trials and triumphs of this period laid the groundwork for the United States to emerge as a global power in the 20th century. As the 20th century rolled in, America began to extend its influence beyond its borders. The late 19th century, known as the Gilded Age, saw tremendous economic growth. It was marked by the rise of wealthy industrialists like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller. These titans of industry not only amassed great fortunes, but also fundamentally transformed the American landscape, ushering in an era of rapid industrialization and innovation. As the world plunged into the chaos of World War I in the second decade of the 20th century, the United States initially sought to maintain its neutrality. However, the tide turned in 1917, and America entered the fray. The country's involvement in the Great War marked a significant departure from its traditional isolationist policy, signaling the beginning of its journey towards becoming a global superpower. Yet, it was the Second World War that truly reshaped the global order and cemented America's position on the world stage. As conflict engulfed the globe, the United States once again stepped up, providing crucial support to the Allied forces. From the factories of Detroit to the shipyards of San Francisco, American workers rolled up their sleeves, producing the tanks, planes, and ships that would help tip the scales in favor of the Allies. But America's contributions extended beyond the battlefield. With the launch of the Manhattan Project, the nation led the way in nuclear research, culminating in the development of the atomic bomb. This scientific and technological feat not only ended the war, but also sparked a new era in global politics, forever altering the balance of power. In the aftermath of the war, the United States emerged as one of the world's leading powers. Its economy, largely unscathed by the ravages of war, boomed, while its military might and technological prowess were unrivaled. As nations around the world lay in ruins, America stood tall, ready to shape the post-war world in its image. The world wars were transformative, catapulting the United States onto the world stage as a formidable power. From the ashes of these conflicts, a new world order was born, with America at its helm, steering the course of global events for the decades to come. Post-World War II, the world was divided into two blocks: the capitalist West, led by the United States, and the communist East, led by the Soviet Union. This was the onset of the Cold War, an era characterized by political, military, and ideological rivalry that lasted from 1947 to 1991. Though the two superpowers never engaged in direct warfare, their competition played out across the globe in proxy wars, the space race, and an arms race. In a bid to maintain influence in war-torn Europe and counter the Soviet Union's spread of communism, the United States implemented the Marshall Plan in 1948. This economic aid package provided over $12 billion to help rebuild Western European economies. Not only did this facilitate Europe's recovery, but it also solidified American influence and fostered a capitalist system that thrived on free trade and open markets. This era also saw the United States riding a wave of unprecedented economic prosperity. The post-war period was marked by tremendous growth as the United States led the way in industry, technology, and innovation. The American dream, characterized by the promise of prosperity and success, was more alive than ever. But the influence of the United States was not limited to politics and economics. The country's cultural power was on the rise too. American popular culture, with its music, movies, fashion, and more, began to spread globally. Hollywood films, rock and roll, blue jeans, and Coca-Cola became symbols of American lifestyle and freedom, captivating audiences worldwide. This cultural export played a crucial role in enhancing the country's soft power, making it not just a political and economic giant, but also a cultural trendsetter. The Cold War era, a time of tension and competition, saw the United States cement its position as a global leader. As the 20th century drew to a close, the world witnessed a seismic shift. The Cold War, a grueling test of endurance between the United States and the Soviet Union, finally came to an end. In 1991, with the collapse of the Soviet Union, the curtain fell on the bipolar world order, leaving the United States as the sole superpower on the global stage. The United States now stepped into a unique role as the leader in the international arena. From the United Nations to the World Bank, American influence became a steady current, shaping the ebb and flow of global policies. The United States didn't just participate in these organizations, it often took the helm, steering the world towards the resolution of pressing issues such as climate change, terrorism, and humanitarian crises. But the American influence wasn't confined to the political sphere. The dawn of the digital age saw American tech giants like Apple, Google, and Amazon redefining the way the world communicates, shops, and even thinks. These tech behemoths became synonymous with innovation, their products and services infiltrating every corner of the globe. They didn't just represent American economic power, they were a testament to American ingenuity and the country's ability to continually push the boundaries of what's possible. Yet, it's impossible to talk about American superpower status without mentioning its military prowess. With bases dotted across the globe and a defense budget that surpasses the next 7 countries combined, the United States possesses an unparalleled military strength. This power not only serves as a deterrent to potential adversaries, but also ensures American influence in geopolitical matters. In the ever-changing global landscape, the United States continues to hold the reins as a superpower, facing new challenges and opportunities.